Cody Rhodes faced his legacy buddies Randy Orton and Ted DiBiase Jr. at WrestleMania 26. For the most part, it was a 2-on-1 handicap match as Rhodes and DiBiase felt wronged by Orton and wanted to take him out of the equation first. Orton used them to advance his career, and tensions were brewing between them for months. When a faction implodes, it's typically the younger, rising stars who come out on top as they are viewed as the future of the business. But things were different here. Cody and Ted were not booked strongly, and it did not feel like they were ready for the next level. So despite being targeted for most of the WrestleMania match, Randy Orton managed to win, ending his story with the legacy.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
Following this, they went their separate ways. Randy and Ted were kept on Raw while Cody moved to SmackDown. This was the best thing to happen to him at the right time. Cody was a young and hungry superstar with a ton of potential who had a lot to prove to WWE, and he got the opportunity to shine on SmackDown. A series of vignettes aired on SmackDown, and in these segments, Cody Rhodes was seen as a man obsessed with his appearance, focusing on his perfect looks and grooming habits. He would give the audience tips on personal hygiene, skincare, and grooming. He also started referring to himself as Dashing. This was his new persona, a narcissistic, self-absorbed wrestler who believed he was superior to everyone else because of his good looks. Soon, people would start to notice as these segments were unique and fun in nature. He participated in a tournament for the vacant WWE Intercontinental Championship, but lost to Christian in the semifinals. Even though he did not win a lot of matches, he was getting a ton of TV time. As Dashing Cody Rhodes, his in-ring style also evolved. He became more methodical and calculated, using underhanded tactics to gain advantages in his matches. His character would often taunt opponents by claiming they could never measure up to his standards of physical beauty. His matches included moments where he would stop to check his appearance in a mirror, even mid-match, which added a layer of humor and entertainment to his character. This arrogance made him an effective heel, and fans relished seeing him get his comeuppance. In mid-2010, he participated in the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match at the first ever Money in the Bank pay-per-view event, but was unsuccessful as the match was won by Kane. Following this, he started a partnership with Drew McIntyre, another young and talented wrestler who was trying to make a name for himself as a heel. They attacked Christian and Matt Hardy before capturing the Tag Team Championship at Night of Champions in a Tag Team Turmoil match. This could have been a great stepping stone for both of them as their partnership worked. Cody's narcissistic personality complemented Drew's entitled demeanor, making them a formidable pair that had the potential to rise quickly through the ranks. Unfortunately, this did not last long as they dropped the titles a month later to the Nexus, and they soon parted ways. Cody continued playing this character, however on January 21st, 2011, during a match against Rey Mysterio, Rhodes suffered a legitimate broken nose when Mysterio delivered a 619 with an exposed knee brace. This injury prompted him to undergo facial reconstructive surgery. He was not on television for several weeks after that. This created intrigue among fans as they started questioning Cody's absence, and the next time they saw him, he wore a clear protective mask over his face and declared that he was no longer dashing. Now he was undashing, a swift character development. This led to some of the best character work that we had seen in WWE in a long time. His theme song changed to a more darker version, which worked for his character. Cody played the role of a narcissist who had become unhinged after his looks had been destroyed, although it was obvious that his face was pretty much the same and there had been no permanent damage. He immediately entered a feud with Rey Mysterio, the man responsible for breaking his nose, and defeated him at WrestleMania 27. He later took his character to the next level by handing out paper bags to fans, encouraging them to cover their faces as, according to him, they were ugly. After winning matches, he would place the bags over his opponents' heads. During Stone Cold Steve Austin's Broken Skull sessions, Cody said that this was some of the best moments ever for him and that he took inspiration from Patrick Bateman of the American Psycho movies for this gimmick. He clearly had fun during this time. He got paired with his former Legacy partner Ted DiBiase Jr. During their time in Legacy, DiBiase was seen as the breakout star, but now Cody had proven that he was the true standout, showcasing his growth as a performer. DiBiase was just there to protect him. He then participated in the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match, and he was one of the favorites to win, but it was Daniel Bryan who walked away with the briefcase. Although he did not win, he was still hot on the roster and WWE decided to give him a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. A few weeks later, he won the Intercontinental Championship from Ezekiel Jackson. At that time, the Intercontinental Championship had lost much of its prestige and WWE was no longer putting emphasis on the title or giving it meaningful storylines. However, Cody's reign helped to restore its importance as he brought attention and credibility back to the championship through his compelling character work and strong performances in the ring. He also feuded with his former mentor Randy Orton and even beat him. It wasn't clean, but a win over Randy was a huge deal for a young Cody Rhodes. It showcased that WWE had faith in him. In the meantime, he also turned on DiBiase as the son of the $1 Million Man failed to beat Randy Orton, prompting a feud with him. He beat Ted at Night of Champions and then he went on to unveil the new Intercontinental Championship. The classic one with the white straps. Yes, that title was introduced by none other than Cody Rhodes. Following this, he continued his rivalry with Orton, accusing the Viper of mistreating him during their time in Legacy, and also cost him the World Heavyweight Championship. At Vengeance, Orton defeated Rhodes in a non-title match and once again got the better of him in a street fight on SmackDown, breaking his protective mask in the process. This was the end of the gimmick and Rhodes returned without the mask, declaring that Orton had set him free. However, he still had those mannerisms. He was still a narcissist. Honestly, it lasted longer than anyone expected. No one could have imagined that when Cody first called himself Dashing, it would lead to him becoming one of the most hottest stars in WWE at the time. He defended the IC title against the likes of Booker T, but lost it to Big Show at WrestleMania 28. He won it back but dropped it to Christian. With his character work and the Intercontinental title reign, Cody was now ready for the next level, the main event scene. He did some of his best work during that period, but more importantly, he established himself as a major star. He had already proved that he can work with some of the biggest names in WWE, but for some reason he remained on the mid-card. It was a huge missed opportunity on WWE's part for not pushing him to the main event scene. He was stuck in a tag team with Damien Sandow, which had its fun moments, but it didn't do any favors for him. This was all before having an awesome feud with the Authority and the Shield, which led to him teaming up with his brother, Goldust. And then, the Stardust happened, which completely ruined any credibility Cody had built. Of course, he would go on to have an incredible journey after that, establishing himself as one of the top stars on the independents and becoming one of the founding members of All Elite Wrestling, before finally making an epic return to WWE at WrestleMania 38. But after his undashing run, WWE had a chance to establish him as a true superstar that he is today. What do you think?